So, first speaker, lecturer, Menno. I'm not sure if you know Menno, but he runs Trabocca in Netherlands. They import coffee and specialize in Ethiopia, which we have selected as the theme country of the day. They import quite a lot of coffee from Ethiopia, and if you're serious about Ethiopian coffees, he's almost only the supplier in Europe right now, I would say. Yes. So give him a big hand.
Thank you. Thank you. No, it's fine. I'll put it like this. Thank you very much. Yeah, my name is Menno, and I'm from Amsterdam. I turned 41 yesterday. I got a nice song back here from a beautiful lady with a beautiful voice. Just to give you a little bit of a background, I got 3 kids, a wife, and I'm a lawyer. I practiced law for 3 months. I've been in the commodity trade for 15 years, and 12 years of that is coffee. So it gives you a little bit of an idea where my focus is in this case. I also found out last week that I've been around 35 times in Addis Ababa and only 1 time in New York, which was last week. So that also shows a bit where the focus is. Yeah, well, explaining a little bit about Trabocca, I started first trading in another company, sesame seeds and spices, and that's where I learned the commodity trades. I started trading the first organic sesame seeds in Ethiopia in '98. And while doing this, I saw coffee, and I had no experience or nothing with coffee, but I saw that sesame is quite boring. It's moisture and oil content and the purity, that's basically all that it is. So coffee got my focus, and there was no organic coffee, so I thought, well, let's use my organic certifier and see if we can certify the first organic coffees in Ethiopia. And then we started doing this in 1999 with the Oromia Union, and slowly I started selling all these coffees for them and teach myself to understand coffee better and get more inspired. And that's basically on the way. While working for this company, I had some ideas that I thought we should invest more and take more risks to get the best out of Ethiopia, because it was quite clear that it's just there's so much opportunities. I mean, if you have like 5,000 varietals and you have no idea which one you are tasting, it's basically all a blend, and till today I think it's all a blend still. So there's a lot of work to do, and I want to get more involved with the farmers and see if we can get a little bit more clarity and assist in. I mean, a lot of things in my eyes could improve, and it's still like this. But well, these guys didn't want to invest and take some risk, and yeah, well, we basically split up, and I raised Trabocca in 2003 with the Organic Corporation, which is an organic trading house in Amsterdam. We trade around 250 different organic products, and with Trabocca we start doing only coffee. While trading in the way I thought was a better way, slowly I got the idea that wrote sort of a proposal and gave it to our government in order to get some subsidies, which was given to us 6 years ago now. We had a project for almost 700,000 euros. Half of it was donated by the Dutch government, but it gave us the opportunity to invest in hardware. So we bought Pinalenses, Penagos, Eco Pulpers, and also 3 Haller graders. In total, it were 9. So we installed them in Harar, in Yirgacheffe, in Sidamo, in Ilibawar, and one in Kaffa. So it's only hardware, but that was already quite clear to me that just putting hardware in Ethiopia, it's useless. So you need to give training, you have to have pre-finance in place, you have to bring agronomists, you have to do the certifications if you need it, if you want it. So the whole package was, we raised a joint venture. We have our office now in Addis with 6 staff, and we have a joint venture with Sidama Union and Yirgacheffe Union. It's pretty complicated. We lost 5 managers in the last 5 years. So imagine that you invest this kind of money, and then you find out that your joint venture partner fled the country. And then you meet the next one, and he doesn't know what a joint venture means, basically. You start all over again, and that happens then 5 times to you. Then it's yeah, it's a bit difficult sometimes, but we'll come back to that a little bit later. So the idea with Trabocca, we always want to find the best coffees and make them better, increase the volume if possible, by giving the farmers all the tools they need, and keep the communication. And this is just the growing side. So I was asked to tell you a little bit about the challenges in Ethiopia. I think I can write a book, and I think Carl can also write a book about it. I mean, Ethiopia is within Africa. I think it's like George Howell likes to say, it's a planet, Ethiopia. It's not from this world, because everything is a bit, if you expect it's going this way, it's most probably going the other way. And you cannot anticipate on it, because every year there's something new showing up. Even in our office, we have every year we have sort of a bet. What do you think is going to happen this year that we don't expect? And again, this year they have a new rule that I think it's implemented now 2 months ago, that exporters cannot store their coffee longer than 2 months, and otherwise they will not be able to register any other contracts or export any coffee anymore. If you have a little bit of a big size exporter, it's hardly impossible. Because if you know that you will spend a lot of time waiting for the mill before your coffee has its turn, especially when you do organic coffee, then you have to wait before they do the organic line. So it's disturbing Ethiopian coffees, I guess. I mean, for the last 10 years, I don't see that much progress in terms of the logistics and getting more to know about the coffees and getting it better. I mean, if there's one country that should be way more up in quality towards the consumers, it should be Ethiopia. Everybody agrees with that, but I'll try for 11 years, and I mean, we succeed in a certain way, but I know there's much more to do. So I also decided not to bother you too much with all the logistics and all that part, because you are all basically all roasters, I guess. And what Tim already said, should we continue? Yes or no? What's the value of this event? And I thought about, I think there's a huge value, and it should be even more developed. And going back to origin and going back to your roasting, I mean, like here, I know all you guys are trying your best to nail down certain coffees with different profiles. It can mingle even with your private life sometimes. You just go very, very far to understand the coffee. And while doing this, that's where the search starts. What am I roasting actually? So if you talk about Ethiopian coffees, then basically you don't know what you're roasting, and I don't really know what it is till a certain extent. I know where it's coming from, I know how it's processed, and I know it's done. I have a good idea about a lot of varietals that are in there, but it's all a blend. And the Ethiopian government has, I think it's 35 years ago, when they spread a lot of seedlings. And these seedlings were all from the research center. And they were all chosen by yield and disease resistance. That's their core point of choosing this type of varietal. And it's been spread all around. So if you talk about some older people in the business, and they say, oh, what happened to the old Yergachev? Where is it? And then you think, oh, the old guy is mourning again. But in a way, he's probably right, because all these varietals have been spread out like a cancer almost. You cannot take them out anymore, because it's not plantations. It's all smallholders, which is everywhere. And you cannot ask a smallholder to cut down his trees, because that's his life. So you cannot do that. So to do something like this, it's hardly impossible. Specifically in Yergachev, it's very difficult. Sidamo is also difficult. In the west, we got some farms, so that's more opportunities to do that. I'm not sure if everybody knows how the system in Ethiopia works. And since 2-3 years, I think we should cut it down in 3 different supply chains. One is you got the ECX, that's the commodity exchange that they installed 3 years ago almost now. Basically, it's all a blend. You cannot trace the coffees back, and you're not supposed to trace them back. They invented it, and they see it as a general commodity which has to move a lot of volume. That's it. And then you have cooperatives, which are part of a union, and they are allowed to have direct exports and can bypass the auction. So here you got your traceability, so at least you can trace down your coffees to the place that you, at least you know where your coffee is coming from. As a result, you can put certifications on it, because it's traceable. It's one of the pilots, of course. And the third one is farms. Farms can also get a direct export license. So that's another possibility to have certifications and at least traceability on your coffee. Those are the three main supply chains that you can look at. So if you are roasting here and then you want to know everything, you want to know the processing, the growing, the varietals, how it's been packed, the logistics. You don't want your container to go to Djibouti and then just miss the boat, literally. And it will be sitting there for 1 week, 2 weeks in 40 degrees, and the relative humidity is of probably 98%, which is totally killing for your coffee. If you're lucky, they ship it to Yemen and they store it another week in the heat over there. So we try to anticipate with bringing empty containers, which are scarce most of the time, especially during the harvest. So you need to have your empty containers, then you need to find a truck, which usually is also not available. And then you have to bring it to the port and make sure that they actually make it on that vessel, otherwise you're fucked again, more or less. And these coffees are too expensive these days to do stuff like this. So coming back to this event, I think the results that you guys have while you're roasting all these coffees are very important. But then again, of course, you have to talk to us or come with us to Ethiopia to see where it's growing. And then we bring a lot of roasters to Ethiopia every year. And then because you're traveling so much, you have a lot of talk in the cars. And this is where exactly the roasters and producers, growers, or importers, exporters, what I'd like to call us more facilitators than importers or exporters, because we like to add some value in the chain and not just move commodities. So when you hear this, sometimes you get some very good ideas that maybe you should ferment only 10 hours instead of 72 hours if you roast on this profile. And this is where you start talking about what is the difference? What is the effect in the cup? That's basically we're all looking at. So to do this in proper trials, Ethiopia is probably not the most convenient country to do something like this, because you need your own laboratory. You have to be there yourself to make sure. I did some tests with varietals, and we bought some tanks in order to have, at the same day, we marked some trees. At the same day, you pick the cherries. You have these tanks, you have the same water, you have the same fermentation, everything the same, and then cup separately. Amazing to see how the differences were. But we cannot really use it in practice, because where do you plant it? Another sensitive thing is that the Ethiopian government is definitely not liking trials like this. They are very fierce. They can get you can go to jail even sometimes. So, sorry, not me, but I lost some people, yeah. And then you're not allowed to visit them, because then they think, oh, you are also part of the game, and it's Ethiopia. That's another story. It's another lecture maybe. So I think there's a lot of value, and I think it's also very important that we keep talking and discussing in detail, and make sure that we are what we do, that we really be clear about how your experience was with this coffee on this roast. And that's what I like really about the different roasters and the cupping we will do later with one of the coffees that we've sent to all these roasters. Maybe there's already a big difference there. So there's a lot of challenges, I think, there. Yeah, we also have we made a movie last year, a little bit of what we do. I mean, you get some origin pictures. I think we want to roll that just after this, to give you a brief idea. I also always like to at least get the opportunities to have some questions. If somebody has some questions, so I can answer a bit more focused on that part. I'll be running around, of course, the whole day. Unfortunately, I have to leave very early tomorrow, but the whole day I'll be here. One more thing I would like to add. Yeah, we also similar project we have now in the Cape Verdean Islands, and the idea is the same for me. We found out there's coffee trees for already 300 years on a volcano in the middle of the ocean. It's 600 miles west from Dakar, from Senegal. It has the altitude, it has the soil, it has trees from 300 years old. Everything is there, but the coffee industry has been dead for 10, 15 years almost. So we did the same trick, Cape Verdean Islands. So we got again donation similar, but it's smaller. It's we just bought 3 Pinalense hullers and 1 grader. So we're going to bring them. There are agronomists already there. We also raised a joint venture again. But it's the same spirit to see if we can find something, some jewels that have been lying there and sleeping more or less. So we'll see what's happening. I mean, Ethiopia will stay our focus, but it's good to do a similar thing. And I mean, we can learn also from other countries. When I travel to, we do like 15 other regions now, but it's just a different way of buying coffee. But changing experiences in different countries in terms of processing, fermenting, even the machineries they use, the results. It's all very interesting. So I think this event should continue for sure and make sure that we are very focused on sharing the right information in order to get somewhere. And the idea to work with a cooperative, I think that's a good idea. Then you're at least focused on narrowing down the variables that you have. We're also raising a foundation at this moment that's more on the social side only. So there will also be some schools, and probably we get some more feet on the ground later on to expand on that part. Once everything is ready, we'll announce something like that. I think we should. Is there any questions now already? Yeah.
You mentioned cooperatives are able to export directly to roasters, but I'm wondering, do they have their own dry mills so they can actually prepare the coffee as well, or is it all run through the sort of governmental mill in Addis?
Good question. The first problem starts with the cooperatives. They are allowed to do it, but they're all illiterate, so they have no clue how to do it. That's why they have the union management. We bought 3 mills for them, but officially they have to go through the traceable. I think Carl knows even better. I think it's officially they have to go through the government mills because they are cooperatives, and cooperatives are partly governmental, so they have to go through those mills. That's what you don't want, but that's the way it is. And I don't know any cooperative that is exporting directly themselves. I mean, I've been trying to separate them more or less because we buy all the coffee anyway, but it's too political to get into that area, and then you end up in jail maybe. So life is too short so far. Maybe it changes, I don't know. I mean, Starbucks is trying to do some barcoding system, so it's a sign that at least they're a little bit more open for it, but he's already saying, no, I don't believe in this either, but it's marketing probably. Yeah. Any more questions for now? Can you? All right, thank you very much. We'll just put the movie on, and then we'll do the cupping after that. Thank you.
Ayoma, Ayoma, Dadele Ozora, Ayoma, 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 Dadele Ozora, Ayoma,
Welcome to the Taste of Ethiopia. Ethiopia is the most exciting, but also the most challenging coffee country in the world. The range of flavor profiles that can be found here cannot be compared with that in any other coffee country. To produce the coffees and export them in a highly professional way is a challenge and a true mission. Trabocca has developed itself to become a focused expert in realizing this task. With a passion for excellent coffee, Trabocca has become one of the best exotic coffee experts worldwide. It dedicates itself to sourcing specialty coffee. Our focus is on Ethiopia and specializing in high-quality, certified coffee. Trabocca strongly believes in the intensive involvement in the whole process until the delicate beans have reached the roasters.
Zoet, kersen, struiken vol, met volledig rijpe bessen. Well, 10 years ago, when I started in coffee in Ethiopia as a relative young guy in the whole business of coffee, I recognized immediately that I should focus on quality for one reason. First, to gain respect with all the buyers, and second, I saw there's a lot of opportunities here.
Within our many projects, we run our Operation Cherry Red project. We inspire farmers to make smaller lots of the best possible coffees they can produce. Trabocca and its clients pay big premiums in advance for these lots that pass the strict quality standards. The additional margin is reinvested with the producers where needed. The strategy is to supply the farmers with all the tools they lack, like eco-pulpers, drying beds, crop pre-finance, certifications, organic training, and to share knowledge to give them the possibility to produce better and more quality coffee. Trabocca has installed 6 pulping machines and 3 huller graders in all the famous regions in Ethiopia.
It is very difficult to have a direct relationship in Ethiopia. The logistics and the politics behind it are very intricate as well. But Trabocca, they do a good job. They help with the financing. They find good quality. They keep good quality. Facilitate us meeting the farmers, meeting the producers, seeing the mill, the dry milling, everything.
Trabocca has always donated funds for social projects around our coffee projects. We give quality training on the field, and we keep innovating with processing trials, search for new coffees, and improve the logistics and packaging materials. By crop pre-financing, we help the farmers to get paid for the cherries at the time when the crop arrives. By filling in this financial gap, we support both quality and volume as well. As a result, the community has started to produce more and better coffee. You could say that Trabocca is more a facilitator than an ordinary buyer. Trabocca is right at the source of every coffee they buy. The direct trade model came natural to us, as it is our philosophy to assist farmers to create and realize great coffees to high-end roasters around the globe. Trabocca has several joint ventures and a local office in Addis Ababa, including qualified staff to support the interest of our farmers as well as our worldwide clients. It is our mission to supply our roasters with unique coffee. They will treat their beans with the same passion and care as we do in origin. In order to create the perfect cup, everybody in the coffee chain needs to perform 100%, from tree to cup.
I know Ethiopia has many challenges, more challenges, I say, than most places. So it's very important that we have a relationship with them. They seem to have good relationships with the people that they work with as well. We bought one coffee from Ethiopia this year, not from Trabocca, and it didn't work out. And all of the coffees, the 6 coffees that we did buy from Trabocca were all amazing. In the USA, we call Trabocca the coffee hunters.
Anyone has any questions for Menno? Let's give him a big hand again. Thank you. Trabocca has also very kindly donated all the coffee that we were going to use for the experimental cupping, and also some coffee that Mikael has been roasting that we're also going to cup. He's been doing several different roasts on the same coffee, so that'll be very interesting to see the results of that. So we're going to do a cupping, leave the chairs as it is. Look at the number on your little name tag. And go to your designated table. Table number 1 is over there, 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember, there's only 1 cup of each coffee here, so don't be greedy.